Serpent Scales. As the Emperor's favored son, Horus Lupercal wore the finest wargear humanity could muster. His warplate, known as the Serpent Scales, was among the very first fully operational suits of Terminator armor ever made, meticulously tailored to fit the towering figure of the War Master. The armor was a living project and constantly refined by the Fabricator General Kelbor Hal and the finest artificers of the Mechanicum, who worked tirelessly to ensure the War Master's gear remained at the cutting edge of Imperial technology. Equipped with a refractor field generator, it allowed Horus to be almost untouchable in the heat of a battle. At the same time, its imposing bulk and design amplified his natural presence on the battlefield. One of the most striking aspects of the armor was the enormous wolf pelt draped over his shoulders, a trophy from a beast he had slain on Davin, a grim reminder from the very world that would ultimately lead to his downfall. While it bore a resemblance to the cataphracti pattern, it was far more advanced, with servo pistons, reinforced plating, and intricate designs that were the hallmark of a Primarch. Every inch was adorned with layered iconography, seamlessly merging the proud moonwolf symbols of the Luna Wolves with the Eye of Horus, which would later come to symbolize his traitorous legion, the Sons of Horus. Symbolically, the Serpent's Scales mirrored his transformation from an Imperial champion to the arch-traitor. Its martial splendor once inspired awe and loyalty throughout the Great Crusade, but during the Siege of Terra, it exuded raw, warp energy, altered by the very gods who twisted his soul. The Elavagar Armor. Forged in the brutal crucible of the early 6th Legion, the Elavagar Armor, often referred to as the Armor of Russ, was a suit of artificer armor as fierce and relentless as the Primarch it was designed for. Every dent and scratch tells a story, tracing back to the legendary hunts of the Wolf King. This armor boasted remarkable resistance against energy-based attacks. Plasma, melta, and flamer fire that would turn others to cinders barely left a mark on its surface. It wasn't made for display or ceremony. It was built for brutal close-quarters combat, perfectly matching Russ's ferocious fighting style with its reinforced plating. Adorned with thick wolf pelts, intricately carved rune pauldrons, and clawed talismans, the armor was more than just a protective shell. It was a living embodiment of the warrior inside. The breastplate proudly displayed the fierce wolf sigil of Fenris. For the Space Wolves, the Elavagar armor was a sacred symbol of their heritage and the very essence of the Wolf King himself. Medusan Carapace. The armor of Ferrus Manus was a marvel of functionality, a blend of advanced artificer armor and cybernetic enhancement crafted deep within the fiery depths of Medusa. Designed by the Gorgon himself, it was built to interface seamlessly with Ferrus's own body, particularly his living metal arms, which had fused with Necrodermis after his fateful duel with the silver worm of Medusa. Ferrus's gear was stark and industrial, layered with heavy plating, built-in servo systems, and reinforced joints that could absorb the kickback from weapons that no other Primarch could handle. Every component was engineered to endure the harshest conditions, from orbital bombardments to underground sieges. His armored gauntlets were configured to amplify the already immense strength of his metallic limbs. The armor bore minimal iconography, only the sigil of the iron hands and cogwork motifs etched delicately, as if the machine spirit itself demanded discipline over flair. His backpack unit contained enhanced targeting and battlefield command systems. The Medusan Carapace embodied Ferrus Manus's unwavering belief in strength through steel. In the chaos of war, this formidable exoskeleton transformed him into an unstoppable juggernaut. Gilded Panoply. Fulgrim, the Phoenician and Primarch of the Emperor's Children, wore a stunning suit of armor that was as much a work of art as the warrior himself. At its heart, an expertly designed artificer armor tailored to enhance Fulgrim's speed, grace, and flamboyant fighting style. The armor's surfaces sparkled with enameled plates and precious metals. Delicate gold filigree traced every curve, while violet gemstones pulsed with a faint energy, perfectly syncing with the sonic disruptors and sensory enhancement nodes woven throughout its structure. It provided exceptional mobility, with finely tuned servo motors for precise strikes, and an energy field capable of deflecting even plasma and last fire. Over time, as the Phoenician descended into the worship of Slanesh, the armor changed, its perfection warped into something seductive and grotesque. Draken Scale. Vulcan, the Lord of Drakes and the Primarch of the Salamanders, donned a remarkable suit known as Draken Scale. This incredible piece of craftsmanship was forged deep within the magma chambers of Nocturne. Massive even by Primarch standards, Vulcan's armor was built to withstand not just the fury of war, but the extreme environments he called home. The armor featured heat-ablative plating, layered with ceramite and unique alloys sourced from Nocturne's volcanic depths. Its surface gleamed like obsidian, with veins of molten bronze and intricate flame motifs etched into it. Emberglow vents along the pauldrons and backplate helped keep the internal temperature in check, allowing Vulcan to walk through raging infernos that would incinerate others. The chest piece displayed the icon of the Fire Drake, surrounded by hammer-forged inscriptions of Promethean wisdom. With integrated thermal coils, Vulcan could wield weapons like the Furnace's Heart and Dawnbringer with no risk. The suit was capable of absorbing, redirecting, or even weaponizing heat during close combat. It also contained advanced environmental seals, enabling him to function effortlessly in void, magma, or radiation. Auric Armour, the Primarch of the Imperial Fists. Rogaldorn's warplate, the Auric Armour, was crafted from a rare auric adamantium alloy, the same legendary material that makes up the Emperor's own armor. The armor's golden finish served a ceremonial purpose, symbolizing Dorn's status as both a warrior and the architect of the Emperor's vision. Its surface was adorned with battle honors and siegecraft diagrams, which could only be seen under certain lighting, as if Dorn carried the blueprints of war etched upon his very skin. Equipped with an advanced energy shield generator, the armor enabled Dorn to hold positions that others simply could not, transforming him into an unmovable anchor amidst the chaos of battle. It was also connected to sophisticated command systems, allowing him to coordinate vast legions with pinpoint accuracy even in the heat of combat. Armour of Fate. Robout Guilliman, the Primarch of the Ultramarines and the Lord Commander of the Imperium, now charges into battle wearing the legendary Armour of Fate. Once referred to as the Armor of Reason during the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, this armor has been meticulously reforged under Guilliman's watchful eye, reflecting his unwavering quest for order and perfection. The armor is a stunning creation made from reinforced auramite and ceramite plating. Its sophisticated energy shielding can absorb even the most powerful attacks, while internal servos and kinetic dampeners enable Guilliman to handle enormous weapons with ease. It exudes a sense of regal authority, featuring deep ultramarine blue panels trimmed with intricate gold, topped off with the laurel-wreathed U symbol of Ultramar proudly displayed on its chest. The Armor of Fate is equipped with a Cognis Signum array and advanced life support systems that keep Guilliman's transhuman body functioning after his resurrection. The Horned Raiment. Magnus the Red, the Crimson King and Primarch of the Thousand Suns, strides across battlefields clad in the Horned Raiment, an artificer armor that has endured since the days of the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy. Built with arcane precision in the forges of his Psyker Kingdom, the armor was an ornate fusion of sorcery and science and designed to focus and amplify the staggering psychic power that radiated from within him. Crafted from psychically reactive alloys and layered with gilded crimson scales, the armor shimmered with arcane sigils and shifting glyphs that whispered in forgotten tongues. Its shoulder guards bore the eye-shaped crests of the Thousand Suns, and its helm was a crown-like piece adorned with cyclopean imagery. Every surface was covered in inscriptions drawn from the Book of Magnus, reinforcing the armor's integrity through both material science and warp-binding rituals. More than a barrier, the armor was a conduit, enabling Magnus to unleash destructive psychic phenomena while shielding his form from backlash and intrusion. Regalia Resplendent. Among all the legendary war gear of the Primarchs, none gleams so brightly in both purpose and form as Sanguinius's Regalia Resplendent. Crafted in the Emperor's own forges and blessed by the skilled artisans of both Terra and Baal, this armor was a true embodiment of divinity, gilded plates adorning Sanguinius, who many believe to be a literal angel. The warplate shimmered with polished gold and ivory, adorned with red gems that seemed to pulse like living blood. It was designed not just for protection, but to inspire awe. Its most striking feature, a beautifully ornate exoskeletal harness, was perfectly integrated with Sanguinius's magnificent white wings, allowing them to spread freely in battle and fold gracefully when he was at rest. The armor was expertly balanced to enhance his unparalleled agility, equipped with internal stabilizers and power assist systems that facilitated aerial maneuvers and daring dives from the sky. The breastplate displayed the iconic chalice and blood drop symbol of his legion, while the pauldrons were intricately etched with motifs of flame and feather, symbolizing sacrifice, rebirth, and the enduring spirit of the Ninth Legion. It was also armed with a powerful personal force field and finely tuned servo motors, enabling Sanguinius to move with both precision and grace, combining speed with raw power. The Leonine Panoply. Lionel Johnson, the first Primarch and leader of the Dark Angels, was equipped with a warplate crafted in secrecy beneath the mountains of Caliban, and later perfected in the hidden vaults of the First Legion. The Leonine Panoply was made from reinforced ceramite and adamantium, featuring segmented articulation that prioritized functionality. Its deep green plating had a matte finish to minimize glare, and was accented with dark bronze edges and adorned with Gothic script known only to the inner circle. Draped over his shoulders was a heavy cloak made from the fur of a Calibanite lion, a mantle of judgment taken from the great beast that the lion himself had slain during his ascent to power. The armor also included a multi-spectrum helm, integrated Vox scramblers, and battlefield scanning arrays, all designed for stealthy operations and swift decapitation strikes. It paired seamlessly with the lion's blade and shield. The Logos. Crafted in the image of Perturabo's strategic brilliance, the Logos stood as a massive suit of cataphracti pattern Terminator armor. This moving fortress was meticulously engineered to withstand the punishing realities of siege warfare. Designed by Perturabo himself, the Logos had a layered ceramite plating reminiscent of a super heavy tank rather than typical Astartes equipment. This incredible durability allowed Perturabo to march through the most intense artillery barrages and direct assaults without flinching, making him a literal anchor on any battlefield. The Logos came equipped with cutting-edge command and control systems, enabling him to connect cybernetically with his Legion's artillery batteries, siege engines, and orbital assets. With just a thought, he could orchestrate bombardments on a planetary scale or precisely guide Legion assaults. Among its many integrated features were a teleport homer for instant redeployment, a Cortex controller to directly command automata war engines, and a Nuncio Vox for coordinating long-range battlefield operations. The suit also included a Cognis Signum, allowing him to process vast amounts of tactical data in real time and issue precise orders to his Iron Warriors. Barbaran Plate. Mortarian's armor, known as the Barbaran Plate, was a grim war panoply crafted to reflect the toxic highlands of his upbringing. Originally forged by the most skilled smiths of the Death Guard, it was later twisted by Nurgle's influence into something entirely different, an eerie blend of decay, resilience, and an almost unkillable mass. The surface of the armor was dark and dull, often coated in grime, with shoulders embellished with alchemical canisters and tools for chemical warfare, while a long, tattered cloak hung from his back, trailing like a death shroud, steeped in the toxins of his homeworld. Before the Heresy, the armor was practically built for durability rather than aesthetics. Made from thick ceramite layered over sturdy adamantium, it included air filtration systems adapted from barbarous technology, enabling Mortarion to function in the most toxic environments. After his fall to Nurgle, the Barbaran Plate transformed into a decaying shrine. It swelled with necrotic tumors and emitted corrosive fumes. Pipes and pustules oozed filth, while insects buzzed around him in a constant swarm. Armor of the Word. Lorgar's war plate is a stunning example of the skill that goes into artificer craftsmanship. The Armor of the Word is built from the sleek design of Mark IV Maximus power armor, carefully tailored to embody the Apostle Primarch's steadfast dedication to both his faith and the art of battle. Created during the early days of the Great Crusade, this armor was made from reinforced auramite and specially treated ceramite alloys, providing exceptional protection while still allowing Lorgar the freedom to move gracefully during oration or combat. Its polished gold surface was adorned with the sacred hexagrammaton and divine symbols from Colchizian teachings. His pauldrons and greaves were adorned with scroll cases and relic chains, while the chest plate featured an open tome flanked by a radiant sun. The armor was also equipped with psychic resonance amplifiers intricately woven into its inner structure, intended to enhance Lorgar's burgeoning sorceress powers after his allegiance to chaos. The Wildfire Panoply. Jagatai Khan's warplate, famously known as the Wildfire Panoply, was designed to capture the essence of the White Scar's Primarch's unpredictable nature and his unparalleled skill in high-speed combat. Its glossy white surfaces shimmered like snow under the moonlight, accented with bold crimson and intricate storm sigil engravings, reflecting the rich traditions of Chagoris. The armor was equipped with a range of advanced systems aimed at enhancing his incredible reflexes and supernatural agility. This included reinforced servomusculature, gyroscopic stabilizers, and sensory uplinks that could predict his movements, allowing him to dart effortlessly through enemy lines. Built into the warplate were custom sensor arrays and rangefinders, fine-tuned for high-speed maneuvers, whether he was on foot or riding a jet bike. It was perfectly calibrated to work with his favorite weapons, curved power sabers, and lightning-quick firearms, allowing him to strike, disappear, and strike again. The Panoply's internal life support systems were finely tuned for quick physiological adjustments, allowing Jagatai to withstand the drastic atmospheric changes of high-speed assaults and the chaotic violence of void warfare. The Nightmare Mantle. More than just armor, this was a walking executioner's shrine that turned every battlefield into a scene of terror. Crafted in the forges of Nostramo and later modified aboard the Nightfall, the Nightmare Mantle was forged for agility and psychological dominance. Its structure emphasized speed, silence, and lethality, ideal for the shadowy, brutal tactics Kurz favored. The armor was draped in macabre trophies, chains of broken skulls, scalps, and flayed skins, each taken from those he judged irredeemable. These grisly relics weren't just for show, they were statements, warnings to all who crossed the Nighthaunter's path. Despite its terrifying appearance, the mantle was still a marvel of imperial craftsmanship. Reinforced ceramite plating and shock absorption layers gave Kurz the protection he needed in close combat, while servo motors enhanced his moves. Armour of Mars. Crafted from the remnants of the brutal gladiatorial harness that Angren wore as a slave on Nuceria, the Armour of Mars stands as a grim reminder of the Red Angel's bloody rise to Primarchhood. When Angren joined the 12th Legion, the Master Artificers took his battered fighting gear and transformed it into a suit worthy of a warlord. The segmented plating and harsh lines of the armor maintained the look of a pit fighter, making each piece not just protective gear but also a symbol of Angren's unyielding defiance. Designed to endure punishing blows, the Armour of Mars allowed Angren to throw himself into the thick of battle with reckless abandon. Reinforced servos and backup hydraulic systems boosted his already fearsome strength, enabling each swing of his chain axes like Gore-Father and Gore-Child. The Armour of Mars was equipped with simple, yet brutally effective internal auto-injectors, filled with combat stimulants and pain suppressants. These systems pushed Angren beyond human limits, keeping him in the fight even when he was gravely injured, and fueled his rage, constantly pushing him into a frenzy. The Sable Armour. Crafted by the Emperor's top artificers, the Sable Armour was specifically designed for Corvus Corax, the master of the Raven Guard. Made from cutting-edge composite ceramite and layered adamantium, the Sable Armour offered outstanding defense while still allowing for agile movement, crucial for a Primarch who excelled in precise strikes and swift, shadowy maneuvers. More than a protective shell, the Sable Armour was also a wonder of stealth technology. Inside, it featured complex dampening fields and chameleon systems that helped keep Corax hidden from both the naked eye and auspex scans. This meant he could disappear from view and re-emerge where his enemies least expected him. Additionally, its built-in sensor disruptors could scramble Vox communications and mess with enemy targeting systems nearby, throwing off their formations and creating chaos among their ranks. The Pythian Scales. This was the impressive artificer armor worn by Alfarius, or perhaps one of his doubles, when he chose to reveal himself on the battlefield. Designed with a nod to the mysterious times of ancient Terra, the Pythian Scales gleamed with a dark, baroque charm. Its reptilian look, featuring overlapping scales, exuded an aura of cold-blooded menace and hinted at the Legion's secretive ways. This armor came packed with protective features that could deflect blades, soak up energy blasts, and endure even the most cunning alchemical toxins and corrosive attacks. The Pythian Scales was also fitted with advanced deception and misdirection systems, allowing Alfarius to baffle sensors and enemy targeting systems, leaving enemies struggling to pinpoint his actual whereabouts. Thanks for watching until the end. Click here to check out another video and see you in the next one.